Welcome to another episode of Anxiety Doesn't Own Me. I'm Emmanuel Isaacson. I am an anxiety coach who helps people to overcome and heal their anxiety naturally. If you guys don't mind to leave a review, preferably a 5-star review, and this way I'm able to reach more people, because the more people that I can reach, the more people that I can actually help in healing their anxiety. But on today's episode, what I'm going to be talking about is something that is, I think that a lot of us don't do. And it's our anxiety, and just the way we are wired to be. And it's so important to have this so that we can take off pressure from our sympathetic nervous system. Because as I always say, is that the key to healing your anxiety is healing your sympathetic nervous system, because that's what's on overdrive. That's what's overloaded right now and is not able to handle our stress, our worry, or pressure, which in general, is able to. But right now, it needs to heal itself. And if we're going to put more of the stress and the worry and the pressure, it's not going to help us to heal our anxiety. And the reason why the sympathetic nervous system is key is because it's responsible for our fight and fight mode. And this is why we're experiencing so many symptoms all the time. So we need to heal our sympathetic nervous system. Besides rewiring and reprogramming our amygdala, which is going to heal our sympathetic nervous system as well, because it's going to stop sending out signals to activate the fight and fight mode. This as well, whenever we don't put pressure on ourselves, it's always going to help us as well. And one of the ways that's going to help us to stop to put pressure on ourselves is to start to be kind to ourselves. It's to give ourselves that kindness that we need, that we are looking for from others. Because as we know, whenever you're dealing with anxiety, it's very hard to have somebody to understand what you're actually experiencing, because none of them actually do. The only ones that do know what you're going through and they can understand what your thought process is and how you're feeling and what you are feeling, like physically as well, is someone that went through it. Is someone that experienced it. Those are the people that are able to understand you on such a deep level. But the ones that never went through it, they won't understand. But we are looking for that kindness from them. We're looking for that love from them so that they can just support us to feel that. But the thing is that they won't understand, and we need to accept that they won't understand that. So we can tell ourselves, we can show ourselves the kindness that we're looking for and give us the love, because that is going to help us tremendously to take off the pressure and the worry and the stress. And what I mean by being kind and how it's going to do that and how it's going to take off the worry, the pressure, and the stress is by giving yourself time, telling yourself that I don't need to get out of anxiety today. Like, we put pressure when we tell ourselves, like, I want anxiety to be gone right now. And I understand you. I understand where you're coming from, and I understand how difficult it is to deal with it every single day, and you want it gone, but it doesn't help. It doesn't help whenever we are putting pressure on ourselves and not being kind in a way and telling ourselves, like, we should have already been finished with this. We should have already overcame our anxiety. Why am I still experiencing this? You are weak. You are pathetic. You are not capable. You see, you're never going to get out of it. When we tell ourselves those words, because words have power, they have power. So whenever we tell ourselves those things, it puts pressure on ourselves. We stress ourselves out. And it doesn't help to reheal our sympathetic nervous system. We need to heal our sympathetic nervous system. And I don't want to put pressure on you so that you force yourself to do this. No, we need to gradually do this every single day. And this is why I always recommend to write it down. Write good things about yourself. Write good things that you did do today, or you did yesterday, or in your life, whatever it is. We want to focus more on the good that we have done in our lives and stop focusing on those times that we did fail or made a mistake and where we should be. Because the should doesn't really help us to actually heal our anxiety. It puts more pressure. Whenever we're not kind to ourselves, we are putting more pressure. So we need to tell ourselves more good things and give ourselves some kindness. And I know this is very hard for a lot of people to do. So one trick that I always tell people what they can actually do is if somebody else, a friend, came up to you about this problem that you're going through, how would you react towards them? What would you say to them? That thing, when we take ourselves out of the picture for some reason, it's because, again, right now we don't like ourselves that much, but we're so caring for the other person because that's who we are. We're just a very caring person. People with anxiety, we have a big heart and we're very empathetic to other people, but we're not to ourselves. So however you would actually speak to somebody else that would come to you with this problem, speak to yourself like that the same exact way. Because most of the time we're going to tell good things. We're going to motivate the person and we're going to support the person emotionally. However it is, we're going to be there for that person. But whenever it comes to us, we have a very hard time doing that. We feel like it's weird. It's not normal because we don't like ourselves. That's one of the reasons. But we need to start changing that narrative and say to ourselves, okay, you know what? If I spoke to a friend like this who came to me with this problem, I would speak this and this and that. So let me tell myself that as well. And we can do that as a third person, coming to ourselves as a third person and telling ourselves these things. We can do that as well. But we need to start being more kind to ourselves so that we can stop putting the pressure, telling ourselves good things about ourselves, giving ourselves the benefit of doubt, giving ourselves time, being patient with it. And not whenever we have good days and then all of a sudden we have that bad day when we go backwards and we feel like we just failed again and we're not going to get out of it. Instead of putting more stress on ourselves, why am I not overcoming this? And why am I still stuck in this situation? Why does this thing happen to me? No, we can tell ourselves that, you know what? It's okay that I went backwards. It's okay that I have anxiety today. It doesn't mean that I failed. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to overcome this. It just means that I'm having a bad day, and that's going to happen. And that is going to happen. I cannot control that. I'm going to try my best. I'm going to try my best to control it, but there are things that are going to be out of my hand. And I'm not going to be able to control every single aspect of how I feel and, the way anxiety is going to react, because, again, I'm healing my sympathetic nervous system, and that's going to take some time. Just like somebody breaking their leg, it does take some time for them to re-heal it, but they do certain things, and some days are going to be harder for them to walk, and some days it's going to be easier. They're going to have those fluctuations where it's going to be up and down, but eventually they get to the point where they can start walking again normally. You understand? It's the same thing with the anxiety. It's going to take some time for us to get back to the place where we don't experience anxiety. And it can take some time for us to re-heal our sympathetic nervous system. But whenever we put pressure, that's not going to help us. So whenever we do have those down days, we're going to give ourselves some kindness. We're going to say, today I'm going to give myself some kindness, regardless of the way I feel, and it feels like I went backwards. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. That's part of the process. It's normal. I'm going to be kind to myself. I'm going to give myself support. I'm going to give myself some love. I'm going to give myself some self-love. I'm going to tell myself that I care about you, that I love you, that I'm there for you, that you are worthy, you are deserving to overcome your anxiety, that it is possible to do this, that you are one day going to come this. Don't think the negative part of saying to yourself, you're never going to overcome this. It doesn't help. It doesn't help. And I know why you have the belief. I've been there with you. I know what that feels like. But the belief is a false belief, because things can change within a moment. Just like you getting anxiety, just like whenever you first experienced anxiety, that it came out of nowhere, right? So too, whenever you're building yourself and working on yourself every single day towards that goal and healing yourself, you'll see that, boom, one day you'll snap out of it. One day you'll be like, whoa, I'm not even thinking about anxiety anymore. But it does take time. Just like it took time for your body and mind to get you to the point of having an anxiety disorder from that moment, from that trigger, so too whenever you overcome your anxiety and heal your anxiety, you'll see that there's a moment all of a sudden that, whoa, I'm not even thinking about anxiety. Like with me, whenever I had DPDR and I thought that I was insane, I truly believed that. And I thought that because of the weed that I smoked, that it affected me. And this is the way I'm going to be for the rest of my life. I'm going to be high for the rest of my life, because that's what I thought I was experiencing with all these thoughts and sensations and the way I felt. But all of a sudden, whenever I was healing myself, whenever I was working on myself, there was one day I just, boom, snapped out of DPDR. I was like, whoa, I'm out of yet. And I never thought that I would actually overcome DPDR. Every time I talk about it, it's like, wow. Until today, I remember the details of where I was when I snapped out of DPDR. But again, it took me some time. It did take me some time. And it took me actually a while afterwards to know that I was experiencing DPDR. I didn't understand what I was experiencing at all. But after a while, I'm like, whoa, that's DPDR. Yeah, it took me another 2.5 years to overcome my anxiety. Yeah, but eventually I overcame it. Then it was time I just like, whoa, anxiety doesn't even pop into my head. Whenever somebody would come up to me and speak to me about it, I was like, whoa, when was the last time I even thought about anxiety? When was the last time I ever experienced the sensations or anything like that? It's been a long time. So you're going to get to that point. But again, it's going to take some time to get there. But you have to be kind to yourself. And again, if you don't know how to be kind to yourself because you're just not used to it, which definitely makes sense from whatever you experience, and that's okay, ask yourself, if your friend came up to you and they came with this problem, how would you react towards them? How would you act towards them? How would you treat them? That's how you would treat yourself. What would you say to them? That's what you should tell to yourself. So whatever you would do for them, do for yourself as well. But sometimes, again, we're just not used to that. That's the thing. But remember, be kind to yourself. Write that on the wall. Remind yourself, hey, you know what? I see myself. I'm not being kind to myself. I'm putting pressure on myself. I'm being hard on myself. No. I'm going to be kind to myself today. And the way I do it is A, B, and C. I'm going to tell myself good things. I am going to give myself support. I am going to love myself. That's the way I'm going to do it. If you are looking for a natural remedy in order to help you to deal with your anxiety and help you on your journey to overcome it, I created Calmly CBD, where it specifically helps you to calm down your anxiety and panic attacks. And as well, it doesn't make you feel drowsy. It doesn't make you feel sleepy. And it helps you to just feel calm so you can actually do things throughout the day like work, drive, go out, and do whatever you like in a more calmer state of mind. As well as not addictive or has any side effects or any withdrawals, which this way can actually help you to heal your anxiety and get you to the destination in overcoming your anxiety much quicker. You can click the link that's in the description. It would say Calmly CBD to place your order today. And then right now it's on sale for a limited time where you can buy one and get the second one free. If you did like this episode, please click the like button and leave a 5-star review. The reason why I ask is because this way we're able to reach more people, and the more people that we can actually reach, the more people that we can actually help. Because my mission in this world, my purpose is to help people to overcome and heal their anxiety naturally and show them that it's possible to overcome. Thank you guys. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.